Hey, how's it going? I've had some requests as of late to explain my watering system and how I set it up, so I'm going to attempt to do that for you guys. I use the Trompf Blumat drip system. These are ceramic probes that you soak in water and they get hydrated and waterlogged. And there's a valve inside, a mechanism of sorts, that when this gets put in the medium, and when the medium gets dry and this probe starts to dry out, it'll kind of pull open a manifold or a valve that will allow water to flow. This will be attached to a water line, and then water will drip out the end based on your desired flow rate. So you've got a little potentiometer of sorts here, and you can tighten or loosen the flow, and that's based on how dry your soil is. So this is really handy in the no-till world because we want our beds evenly moist. We don't like a dry out and then a drench, which is kind of the conventional thought process when watering cannabis is allowing a dry out. And we really kind of break that thinking in no-till because we've got microlife and worms and a rich microlife happening that really requires constant moisture. So these really aid in that, and they've been just tremendous. And I'll explain my setup here and how I got it going. So basically up here on top of my other water collection reservoir, this basically collects my mini split condensation and feeds it to my humidifier, and so it the mini split catches it, feeds it to the humidifier, puts it back in the room, mini split catches it. I've got a little bit of a closed loop in that regard, so that's why I have a 165 tank. This doesn't even feed the plants at all. This is just to manage the moisture inside the room. Might be a little overkill, but it's working good for us here. So the blue mats are going to be fed by this 13-gallon cheapo Lowe's kind of reservoir. I've got it connected with an RO filter on a float, so it's always full. And then out one end of it, here's an outlet, and it goes down, and I like to put these little stop valves in place, so if I have to do work on the line or whatever, I don't have to deal with high pressure water. Now, I put this about 5 foot up because I've got a ways to go around and I want a lot of water pressure. They really only require 3 feet. So you don't need any pumps. That gravity is enough pressure to get it through your system. It's really, really nice. So anyway, the line comes down, right? And it's my beneficial bottle. Line comes down, and I just basically feed it into the bed, and it goes all along the outside edge of the beds on the inside. So the whole diameter of the beds, I've got 3 4x8 beds, is completely encircled by this line, and here's the return coming around, right? So I'll go and show you. And about the midway point, bear with me. So on the midway point on the back, I like to put this little kind of like a bleed valve in case you get air in the line or the reservoir runs dry for whatever reason. You'll get air in the line, and then this you can turn on and take care of that. So anyway, so now you know that this line goes all the way around the beds, and I'll take you back to the reservoir. So here's the line that's made it all the way around, traversed it all the way around the beds, and now it's on its way back, right? And so this is a line that comes out the other end. They're both essentially outlet lines, and the reason for that is if we get a clog in the line anywhere along the line here on one of the drippers, water will still come the back way and supply the other drippers that we have. That way we're not losing like a Christmas tree light that goes out and then you lose all the rest. This is going to supply power, like the water power, you know, for lack of a better term, to the back end. So hopefully that makes sense and I didn't really ramble. So the long and short of it is, connected to that tube that goes all the way around the beds, I've got those dripper probes, and they basically just fit in here like a T. And then here's the probe in the soil. And then connected to this probe, I've got this drip line like this. So here's the drip line. It's basically teed into a little micro tube, flexible micro tube, and this runs, bear with me, this runs basically the length of the bed and goes all the way to the middle. And so all along the short side of this setup, on the 4-foot side of my 4x8 beds, I've got 4 probes per 4x8 bed. So down this 12-foot line of beds, I've got 12 probes, 1 a foot. And on each one of those probes is 4 feet of drip line with 5 drippers attached. So that's basically how it works. The drippers are all, the probes are all along the short edge of the beds with dripper lines running to the middle on both sides. So on my 3 4x8 beds, I have 24 drippers, 24 probes rather, with 5 drippers attached to each. So there's roughly 100 drippers going on in here at any time, keeping my soil evenly moist. Here's another dripper. Once again, this isn't garbage. This is my beneficial mite container that I'm leaving to let the last of them kind of escape. So anyway, I hope this kind of explained it and gives you some guidance if you're setting up your own. If you have any specific questions in regards to the Blumats and the dialing them in, hit me up with direct message on Instagram or something. Alright guys, hope it helped. Like